All right, so we are here with the Executive Director of the PRTC, Coach Brandon Slay. Coach Slay, you've always been very kind, so we appreciate your time here today. So we're here for a PRTC practice, a real live RTC practice. Got to see a lot of young guys, a lot of senior level guys. So maybe to start off, let's talk about what you guys are doing here at the PRTC, trying to help both little guys and big guys out.
So I feel like the secret ingredient of all these RTCs, and something that we specifically try to do at the PRTC, is bring our Olympic level guys, our senior level guys into the room where you have college wrestlers, which for us that's Penn wrestlers and Drexel wrestlers both. So you have about 30 Drexel wrestlers, 30 Penn wrestlers, and then we also bring those into a room where we invite some of our best high school wrestlers in the country, which we've had about 170 of the best high school wrestlers in this region, and we know that's within the 250 miles that have been in this room. So it's been an honor to have Pennsylvania state champs, New Jersey state champs. Hunter Katka just was an alternate on the Cadet World Team. He's actually on his way out to the Olympic Training Center today to train at the Cadet World Team camp. So the idea of bringing some of the best cadets and juniors together in a room with 2 Division I college programs, in a room with 4 Olympic level guys, who our 4 guys have all placed in the top 3 in the nation or the national team the last 2 years. And we just feel like those wrestlers training together underneath. We have 10 coaches, 4 Penn coaches, 4 Drexel coaches. Matt Valenti, 2-time NCAA champ Matt Valenti, will be running practice here on Sunday at 1:30. He's the 9th coach, and myself. So we try to pour all that into these wrestling rooms, Drexel and Penn, and we believe that recipe, stirring it up, is going to be the key to our future success.
Yeah, you know me, Coach. I'm very big on USA Wrestling and our success as a country, and it seems pretty clear that you guys are RTCs in general are a huge part of that. Now, what are you guys specifically bringing to the table? You mentioned the 2 schools thing, but maybe what's something that the PRTC is bringing to the table that may be a little different, or maybe pushing forward what we've already a lot of schools are doing very well.
So I feel what makes the PRTC unique is that we're the only place in the country, and I say it humbly, but we're the only place in the country that has 2 Division I programs that are a block away. Now I think some places are going to seek to combine that, where they can be 30, 45 minutes away, but I mean, you literally walk from Walnut over to Chestnut, 1 block, and you're hitting Drexel's campus. So I just don't think you can recreate that. There's not a place like, hey, we're just going to build another university 1 block away tomorrow. It's just, you can't replicate that. So we believe that's really unique, but it only works if you can execute the relationships between those 2 coaching staffs, where there's a synergy and there's a mutual kind of fondness for both of those sets of leaders, and I think that's unique. But I also think what makes this place unique, the PRTC, is that Beat the Streets Philly is about 4 blocks away from here. So Beat the Streets Philly has about 1,000 high school wrestlers that are in the inner city, that the PRTC guys, Penn guys, Drexel guys, they mentor those wrestlers. And then those wrestlers, the goal is to get them to qualify for the RTC, meaning top 4 in the state tournament. And when I first started, there was only 1 Beat the Streets Philly kid, Miles Lee, that could train with us. But now, this last state tournament, there's 6 now Beat the Streets Philly kids. And a guy named Angel Garcia made the Cadet Pan Am team. There's a girl named Tatiana Garcia. She's also, heading out to Fargo. So now you have 6 Beat the Streets Philly wrestlers that are coming to train with us. We hope that grows. In the midst of that, what we call our ecosystem, just all those organizations working together. And I feel like what also makes that special is that for my opportunity to lead the program, I went to Penn. I lived here for 5 years, so I graduated from this school. So I kind of know this area, have great relationships with the university, the people here. And so again, we're just trying to have these solid alliances where if we have proper leadership, successful leadership with character, we believe that trickles down to our Olympic guys, college guys, high school wrestlers, which all in all allows us to fulfill our mission of enriching lives locally and globally through the sport of wrestling.
It's beautiful stuff, Coach. It's great to see the Beat the Streets guys, and girls, both getting the mentorship, and then they're starting to get the results on the wrestling side of things. So kind of working in tandem there. For you, I want to turn this personal for a second. How has your life changed since you've been here a couple years now, or at least a year here? How has your life changed?
So I've been here for about a year and a half. One thing that's for sure changed is in Colorado, every kid I had was a girl. And so now that I moved up to Pennsylvania, I finally had a boy. I moved up to wrestling country, I had a boy. So my life changed a lot when I had my 4th child. But that became important because with 4 kids, I needed to have a job where I traveled less. And I loved my job, being assistant national coach and then towards the end, the national development coach for USA Wrestling. But I ended up traveling about 100 days a year, taking our guys all around the world, which again was awesome for me, going to Uzbekistan and Belarus and Ukraine and Madrid and Paris. That's all great. But when you're married and you have kids, it's tough, again, leaving for another 10 days or 12 days, leaving your family home. And so I knew for me, if we ever wanted to have a 4th child, I needed to be in a situation where I could be home more. And being the executive director and the head coach of the PRTC allows me to really, I choose my schedule. I choose what tournaments we go to, whether we're going to Ukraine or Cuba. And then there's just not nearly as much travel for me, which allows me to be home, hopefully be a good husband and father. That's the plan. But to also be the executive director of this nonprofit. And we have about a $500,000 budget. So I don't just run practices. I'm fundraising. I'm running basically human resources. I'm doing our payroll, our health insurance, our dental insurance, our 401k plan. So I'm having to organize all those things as well. So I need to be home and need to be available to lead this organization appropriately and successfully.
You touched on some stuff right there that I kind of wanted to get into. The one thing that you guys are really trying to do with the PRTC is treat these guys like professional athletes. Richard, Chase, Dan, BJ. I think maybe one of the Bethayas is here as well. You're trying to really treat them as professional athletes, salary, 401k, dental plan. Can you touch on that a little bit?
So our 4 senior level guys in weight class order are BJ Futrell at 65, Chase at 70, Dan Valmont at 74, and Richard Perry at 86. And so thinking back on my career, 15, 20 years ago, you couldn't wrestle for a living. Let's call it the real pro wrestler, where we want to be real wrestlers and real heroes. You couldn't do that 20 years ago. So now with the regional training centers, you have an opportunity. You can train for the Olympics for a living, meaning you can get paid a salary. And from our program, we want to make sure that we're also, a guy like Richard Perry who's married and have 3 kids, that we're helping him take care of his family as well. And so we provide health insurance for our wrestlers, we provide dental insurance, we provide a 401k plan. And so we want to make sure when they come to train here with us that yes, they're having an opportunity to train for the Olympics, and yes, they're having an opportunity to be a great role model, to mentor and motivate and be a model for these wrestlers. We also want to make sure that they can do this for a living, they can take care of themselves. Because when you can kind of take that stress burden and push it to the side a little bit, I'm a big believer when you're not focused on money all the time and paying the bills, then you can really have more joy. There can be more enjoyment as you train for the Olympics. And so that's something we're seeking to create here.
And Coach Slay, we really thank you for your time and letting us in here today and getting to see you practice. Kind of informing the world about RTC, stuff that maybe people still have questions about, and continuing to grow, the international styles here in America. Anything else before we close this out that you want to say?
I'm just really excited about the regional training centers in the United States of America. As you and I have talked before, I'm a big believer that Team USA's freestyle team is the best team in the world. The main reason is because of regional training centers, because our guys can be pro wrestlers in all these places across the country, and to have that support to do that, I think it's really freed them up to be the best wrestlers in the world. And so hopefully in 2018 in Budapest, we win the World Championships again, and win them again in 2019. And 2020, they don't give medals for team, but we can still prove that we're the best team on the planet. And even though I'm just at one RTC now, I'm not part of Team USA, I'm still passionate about the red, white, and blue and making sure that we continue to stay on top.
Absolutely. Coach Slay, once again, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.